Well, we're really enjoying a visit today to the home of Joe and Lynn Hughes in Stillwater, where they've done a really good job of landscaping their area and also have a very successful vegetable garden. And a lot of it has been primarily as a result of improving the soil. Lynn, you started out with a real tight clay soil here, but through the addition of a lot of leaves and grass clippings and organic matter and winter cover crops, it's like you've done a really good job of bringing the soil into a workable condition. I know it's been a lot of work, and this is like where all the work begins.
You're right, it is a lot of work, but being an outdoor person, I enjoy it. We start in the fall when the people start raking their leaves and taking them out to the curbside for the maintenance people to pick up. And we take our old pickup and go along and get them before the maintenance people do, and we bring them here to our alley. And then as time allows, through the fall months and even on into early spring, I come out and grind leaves until I get a nice big pile here.
I bet that's takes a lot of work, but I'm sure it pays off. And these are some then that you've ground last year and you've been using as a mulch this year.
That's right. In the spring, I start putting them after I've have my little annuals in. I put them around them and use it for mulch.
And then you just turn these in, or a lot of them break down, of course, then you turn them in.
During the summer, they break down, but then what's left in the early spring, I turn them under, and it really has improved our soil.
What kind of leaves do you like the best? I know you probably get a real mixture of them.
Yes, we get a mixture because we go all over town, but I prefer the pecan leaves because they just go through really fast, and there's no problem with them. Even when they're a little bit moist, they go through fast. The worst leaves to get are the big sycamore leaves. They're terrible to grind. And the oak leaves don't grind very well because they're tough and leathery.
Yeah, I bet they would have difficulty going through there.
They do.
And then also, you probably kind of like the attractiveness of this leaf mulch too, don't you? Because it really makes a nice mulch.
I prefer a leaf mulch to straw. I don't think it does any better as far as the job that it does, but because of the aesthetic quality of the color of the leaves, it's closer to the soil color than straw or grass clippings.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, Lynn, I know a lot of people have trouble with tight, heavy, poorly drained clay soils, and many of our soils around Stillwater and throughout the state are that way. But through the additions of organic matter and cover crops, we can take care of that many times just by continual uses of that. And we're going to look at some of your soil over there in your garden area in a little while, but I might make mention of the fact too that you've got a really nice screening area here, a hedge that you planted, I think you said yourself. What is this?
Right. This is Manhattan euonymus, or euonymus Manhattan, and I started these it's been about 10, 12 years ago now, from just a little bitty twig, no bigger than a pencil really, and we rooted them and started them.
But it's really made a nice hedge here to screen your work area from your yard and your garden, but yet still it's very, very convenient. And you do have some really nice areas over there. Let's go over and take a look at some of the areas that you've landscaped and see how it looks this late in the fall.
I'm ready.
Good. Lynn, I really like the way you've arranged your area here. You don't have a really large lot, but yet you've arranged it in such a manner that you've taken advantage of all the space. And here's your vegetable garden out around the outer edge here of the lawn area. And it looks to me like that you're through with your summer garden now and you're getting ready to anticipate turning in some type of organic matter in this soil. What have you got planted in here?
We have just a ryegrass crop planted in here. We try to do a winter cover crop every year, and again it helps to improve the soil, and it also in the early spring keeps the weeds down.
Yes, I'm sure that's true too. Plus it gives you a little bit of color out here in the wintertime too, because this rye would really be attractive.
Yes.
I know. And have you had a washing problem here or something?
Yes, we do. Since this ground is higher than the rest of the yard, and as is our neighbor's yard, the water comes right across his yard through our garden, and if I don't have some kind of a brush here, all the garden rushes down into our yard.
But probably your cover crop will help it some here.
Yes.
Hold it in the wintertime here.
Yes, it
does. I think this is what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about the difference in the soil, because this is really an ideal, good sandy, loamy soil, and I know it's because of the additions of that organic matter that you keep putting in there.
That's true. It was not like that 15 years ago when we first moved here. We're on top of a hill, and it was very tight, hard clay, and over the years we've been able to improve it so that it is very friable.
Great. I think it really looks nice here, and not only have you arranged your area well, it looks like you've kind of cut down on your maintenance time here, but also the way you have your turf area shaped and with curves and those lines that you have here. It probably helps you some on the mowing.
It does. It's much easier to mow around a curve than it is to come to a corner and try
Sure.
to maneuver your mower around that.
And here's an area where you've got some of your leaves that you're using for mulching here then.
Yes, this is mulch. The main thing that I like about it in the summertime is because it conserves water and also helps to keep the weed seeds from germinating, and it really does. I'm sold on mulches for flower beds.
And then of course, as I say, it breaks down and goes into your soil.
Right.
This is really a pretty corner back here. It's so colorful, and it's just outside your patio doors here, and I know it's a really good view. What are some of the things that you've got in here? You've got a good combination, I know.
Well, thank you. I have both perennials and annuals planted in here. The perennials I have are daylilies, which I really enjoy in the springtime, early summer. I have tiger lilies way back there in the corner. I have some chrysanthemums that haven't started to bloom yet. And I have a few little dusty miller planted here. Then my annuals, I have zinnias, periwinkle, petunias. I even have a little bit of parsley over there. I have these impatiens right here. I believe that does it. Oh, and the copper plants are beautiful this fall.
So what you've got there is a good combination of colors and sizes and textures from early spring on through the fall.
Through the fall.
And the bird bath adds a little bit of interest there to it. I'm sure you enjoy that as well.
It's fun to watch them. They come there frequently and we watch.
I'm kind of intrigued about these trees too. These are native cedar trees, are they not?
Yes, they are. When we were first married, we didn't have a lot of money to go out and buy really nice landscape plants, so we transplanted native cedar trees. They were just about knee-high when we put them there.
Gee whiz, and you probably kept them sheared for a while there.
Yes.
to start giving some form.
As long as I've been able to.
I really like those zinnias, and I don't think I've seen zinnias this late in the season that look any better anywhere than these. Do you start a lot of your own seeds?
Yes, I start most of my annual seeds myself. It's kind of a nuisance because I don't have a greenhouse or a hothouse or anything to start them in. I just have to put them in front of the windows, and it gets to be kind of a nuisance. But
what's the advantage of doing it?
The advantage of doing it that way are the varieties. You have a wider selection of your varieties, and for instance on the zinnias you can look through the catalogs and notice which ones are disease resistant, and I always choose those because it helps to keep down the powdery mildew on them. And I guess mainly your selection of your varieties would be the main advantage to starting your seeds.
Well, this is not the only attractive place you've got, because you've got several little areas like this. I know that you enjoy quite a bit, and I particularly like this corner over here too with the red zinnias and the blue perennial salvia. Let's go over and take a look at it.
Okay.
Lynn, I really like the way you've treated this corner here in the landscape. This is probably a pretty hot corner here because it's on the southwest side of your house, and I know it gets a lot of heat and a lot of sunlight here. I like this blue and red combination, and particularly the blue, because it's a hard color to find in the landscape. Tell me about what you've done here in this corner.
Okay, yes, this does get sunlight just about all day long, and the blue here is a perennial salvia called Victoria. The zinnias are, I ordered the seed from a catalog, and they're a variety called Ruffles. These happen to be cherry ruffles, and of course both of these like a lot of sun, so they do real well here.
Now, by the perennial salvia, and you told me you started this by seed, you will not have to replant this next year, we hope. But also I know you've done a little bit of moving of the plants around, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I started out with just about 12 plants a year ago, and the small seedlings came up this past spring, so I dug them up and extended the area, and they have just done real well.
Well, the combination of the liripe or the monkey grass here, the blue salvia, the cherry ruffle zinnia, and the difference in height and color really blend in well with your house here. And this would be a good combination to use in an area like this in the home landscape for some other people. Perhaps this will give them a good idea.
Good, I hope
and
so.
As we move on down here, you've also got a lot of other colors too. I notice you have some yellows mixed in there and some red salvia. And you've really led in well to this focal point here in the landscape.
Well, thank you. From the street, this is a real pretty area as you look up this direction, and that's what I was trying to do, so I hope I achieved it.
I think you probably did. And I really like what you've done around in the front there with your little rock garden too. Why don't we walk on around there and take a look at that? Well, Lynn, I didn't want to spend very much time around your perennial salvia because I think the bumblebees really like it too. But
they really do.
That kind of adds some interest too, I guess. This is probably a little bit of a difficult place to treat here in front of your house because it's sloping, and I know that you've recently done some things here with this rock. Tell me about your project here.
The reason the rock is here, I guess, the main reason is because when we bought the house 16 years ago, they had this same little bedded area in the decorative river rock, and we liked it, but over the years they had a little corrugated lawn edging around it, and over the years that had deteriorated and was no longer keeping the rock back within their boundary, and it had a way of just working its way out into the yard. So this past summer we redid the edging and put the timbers in and to hold the rock back. And
so about how deep do you have these buried?
About 8 inches.
Okay, and they are just
they're 12-inch boards,
landscape
timbers, and we bought the 8-foot lengths, and Joe sawed them with his power saw for me.
Well, it really makes a nice, attractive area here, and probably again, it's pretty well maintenance, or low maintenance. I don't say maintenance free, but low maintenance now that you've invested this time in it. Well, Lynn, you really have a nice landscape and garden area here, and I know it's taken a lot of work, but you probably enjoy it.
I do. I'm an outdoor person, so it is a lot of work, and I'm kind of a fair weather gardener. I don't like to get out here in the real hot sun in the summertime, but I enjoy working outside.
Well, I think a person just coming over here and visiting your place can get a lot of lessons on the appropriate way to design an area for low maintenance and also improve the soil for the use of mulches. And I know that Joe, your husband, is quick to give you all the credit for this, but he helps out quite a bit also.
He does. He's very supportive of me, and I do a lot of it, but he helps do the heavy work that I can't do, like hauling the leaves and hauling in loads of manure.
Well, Lynn, again, we really appreciate being here today, and thank you for having us here.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it.